peoples, then I want to agree with Dr. Gonzalez that it is something that we need to look at very seriously. I'm very happy to take that proposal to the Cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago, I mean, we can start the discussions.
Very good.
If I may just add one thing. More than 50% of the Hyatt ticket consists of taxes. So that's an important question that we must always bear in mind when we are talking about air transportation. People have to run all these airports and they cost a lot of money and so on and so forth. And we have to make sure that the dance pays for the light.
Honorable gentlemen, if the future of the Caribbean has to be better than it is now, then I think that the politicians in the Caribbean must become the facilitators of the visionaries. I want to challenge every prime minister in this room to go back to your countries, identify the visionaries in every area, whether it's education, health, environment, culture, and allow your politicians, the persons whom you have selected to run your ministries and so, to become the facilitators of those persons. Because in every country in the Caribbean and in every sector, there are people with the inspiration to get results in particular areas. And those people, their ideas go unnoticed and unimplemented. The other thing is that I think that in the Caribbean, the word energy must stop being equated with oil and gas. We have to begin to think of energy in the Caribbean as the frequency with which things vibrate. And when we begin to think about energy as the frequency with which things vibrate, we are going to see a different kind of Caribbean. The other thing is that the people of the Caribbean need to be armed with the skill of conversational intelligence, meaning, and I'm just wrapping up here, meaning that then we need in the Caribbean to stop talking about the things that we know and stop defending the things that we know and begin to speak in a way that would help us to find out what we do not know that we do not know. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Good night, Rochelle Naked, Living Water Community, Catholic NGO. Mr. Gonzalez, we fully support and the need for accountability with regard to the issue of statelessness in the DR, but it would be remiss of us to neglect the fact that there exists among us in the region an authoritarian regime that continues to persecute its political dissidents. We cannot consider Caribbean convergence until we treat with victims of human rights violations with the same urgency with which we treat with victims of natural disasters. A humanitarian crisis is a humanitarian crisis, regardless of whether or not it was caused by a natural disaster or political conflict. We cannot talk about Caribbean convergence and our political leaders making hard decisions until we respect the human rights of everyone, regardless of their gender, nationality, political opinion, sexual orientation, religion, or any other characteristic protected by international law. And we need to stop denying access to victims of said persecutions when they come to our borders. That is, our refugees and our asylum seekers, and begin to offer them the protection that they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you. One question.
May I just say something here,
Please.
in relation to my dear sister? All the statements she has made are statements of principle, which I believe everyone in this room would agree with. I think we have to be sensitive to all of the questions which she has raised and to make sure that there's practical application. There is one area which she has mentioned, which I don't want to open the debate on this. But there's a lot of work to be done in all the communities, including the Christian communities. I don't believe as yet you will find a consensus that the people of the region equate the difference which exists between persons of different religious beliefs, for which there must be absolute and full support, with the question of sexual orientation. I am not making a statement about sexual orientation. I'm just reminding us as to where the discussion is in the community as a whole and from where we have come. I understand the point that she is making, but as always on these matters, I've been around for so long, and I'm going to be 69 in August, and the average lifespan of a Vincentian male is 74. So that the remaining years that I have, I will wish to speak as truthfully as I can about all subjects, but I remind those who want my job that my mother is 96. Thank you very much.
Well, I see we have 3 colleagues at the microphone. I'm going to ask the 3 of you to make your quick 60-second statement, and then we will have a response. So quickly, a few seconds, make your statement, then we will have a response. Thank you.
Roosevelt King, Secretary General of the Barbados Association of Non-Governmental Organizations. When you don't have the status of primus inter pares, you're relegated to 60 seconds. You know, we always talk about thinking outside the box, but my observation is that outside the box is another box. That you've now got to go beyond. And when I think about it, one of the root causes of many of our problems in the Caribbean is the laws and the policies that we pass and we adopt. And then we have these policemen walking about with big sticks. And I'm saying to you, when they paint that picture, it sounds so racist, it sounds so imperialist. It is as though we are doing these things to ourselves. What we need to do is to stop the law from depriving people. We're talking about poverty. Time up. 60 seconds. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Can I have?
Yes, please.
I am Priya Sital again from Suriname. I believe that besides the problem we deal in our country, we have our own strength. Each country have their own strength. In my vision, we have to share the knowledge and the skills of each country to pull each other. We call us a CARICOM country, one region, but still we are somewhere scared to share our knowledge and skills. We have isolated our knowledge. In my vision, I have 2 proposals. First of all, to create a regional program to share our knowledge and skills with each other. This will create more opportunities for the youngsters in the region. And with this, we can benefit from each other and strengthen and empower each other. Second proposal is, if we are one region, why don't we have ever think about one monetary unit in the Caribbean?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And our final question.
Good evening. My name is Rachel Collymore. I've been listening to this session today, and what has been circulating is the notion of implementation. Now, there are 2 policies that I would like to put forward as a thought process: the cultural policy of Trinidad and Tobago and the national youth policy. And both policies are incomplete. And what I would like to sensitize the the table is to find ways of looking at these policies and see how we can implement them and enforce them, not only on the public landscape, but also in private sector. And with respect to the cultural policy, what I would like to see is the cultural policy taking a greater role within a cross-section of ministries and not just one ministry, to play an integral part of the society. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we could. Well, thank you all very much, colleagues. We've had a very fruitful conversation. On your behalf, I would wish to extend our gratitude to our Honorable Prime Ministers, our distinguished ministers, His Excellency, and of course, our distinguished scholar, Professor. Thank you all very much, and have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you very much, Prof, and to all of the discussants, including the Prime Ministers and the UNCTAD and others, our own ministers and others visiting. Again, my task is to implore everyone here who has something to say and to offer to use the method for submitting your ideas, your positions, your criticisms, and your suggestions. hmic.tt@undp.org. That's hmic.tt@undp.org. I'm advised by the UNDP and some of the others involved in this process that in terms of specific responses, or if your submission has to do with a specific speaker or presentation, that you use that as your preamble. And every effort is going to be made to align the submissions, the suggestions, and or anything else with the respective speakers or discussants who have been with us over the last 2 days. So this is a challenge for you if you have all of this, which you cannot do in 60 seconds or 3 minutes or 5 minutes, to use this opportunity to take advantage of the facilitation that is to begin the process of dialogue in a much more intimate and a way in which it is measurable. On that note, I'd like to thank everyone for today. I understand, I don't have confirmation, but I see on the program we have a reception. The reception, can anyone tell me where the reception is so that I can advise? Outside? Okay, so everyone, just relax a little bit. Try to move beyond your group and meet other people from the region who are here and not stick in your flock. And we reconvene tomorrow morning. Promptly at 8 o'clock. We want to start on time tomorrow, reminding you that your actions or your suggestions for actions. Well, I should shut up now. Good night.